Hey, what's up guys, this is Sky495 here reviewing a headphone amp. This one is specifically made by the brand Traveler Guitar. They're the guitar brand that makes these unconventional, funky looking Traveler guitars. So this one is the acoustic version of their headphone amp. They have another headphone amp specifically for the electric sounding guitars. But this acoustic version is really to help try to get the original acoustic sound from your guitar. And I had actually been looking for this for quite a while. 2 years ago or so, I had reviewed the Vox headphone amp, the AC30. But even though that headphone amp was pretty good quality, it just didn't deliver that acoustic sound that I was looking for. But I'm happy to report that this Traveler Guitar brand one does. So let me just go ahead and give you a tour of this little guy. So first off, on the side, you have the output jack. So this is where you can plug in your headphones or even an audio cable to a Bluetooth speaker, for instance. And then next to that is a little switch. You can toggle between on and in the effects mode. But strangely enough, even after playing with this so long, I couldn't really notice any difference between the on mode and the effects mode. So at first I found that it wasn't a really smart design to put both the on and the effects mode right next to each other, especially since the switch toggle is so small. But since there's literally no difference between the two that I could hear anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter. But moving on to the other side, we have another port here. This is actually for input. So say you wanted to connect your phone in here, say you want to play along to one of the tracks on your phone, you can do so. Or say you wanted to have a metronome going while you're playing too, that's also a nice way to make use of this aux port. And then next to that, you have the three little scroll knobs to control other features. So the first one is volume, and that's pretty self-explanatory, just how much volume is going out of the output jack. And then the next one is tone. This is to change how mellow it is to how bright the sound is, but personally I couldn't really notice any difference even when I had my headphones plugged in. And the final scroll wheel is for blending, so this is to control how much of, say, the aux input from, say, your phone is bleeding out into the output. But from my experience, once again, I found that the more I increased, say, my guitar output versus my phone input, all it really did was increase the static that I was hearing. So I always kept the blend at a minimum because the guitar pretty much always overrides any sound from your input from the aux. You may notice that there's no real indication on the scroll wheel to indicate whether you're increasing or decreasing, say, the volume per se. But in actuality, there actually are these tiny numbers on the scroll wheels, but they are covered by the external plastic casing. So poor design on their part, but you can easily just play around with it to figure it out. Basically, if you turn it towards the right, if you're facing the Traveler Guitar logo, then you'll increase the volume, you'll increase the brightness of the tone, and you'll increase the presence of your guitar sound through the amp. And then the final port is the mini USB for charging this thing up, and when it's charging you can see a clear red indicator, and actually you're able to still utilize this little device while it's charging, but I think most of you would not really like that because it has a lot more static when it's charging. This headphone amp is compatible with any electric or acoustic electric guitar that has that port, but unlike the Vox headphone amp that I had reviewed previously, which it had a swivelable jack, this one is fixed at that right angle. But since this is made by Traveler Guitar itself, I had no problems with it being compatible, of course, with my Traveler Guitar Pro Series acoustic electric guitar here. And ever since I bought this, I pretty much have been using this headphone amp exclusively over the Vox headphone amp. Not only is it a little bit slimmer, but it's also able to recharge easily using that mini USB. I don't need to worry about having to buy more batteries if I were to lose a charge. So just to give you an idea of how versatile this headphone amp is, this is great for those of you who want to do some private listening. Say you live in close quarters, you have a roommate, or you live in an apartment with really thin walls. This is a really great way to still be able to practice without disturbing anybody else. So the way I do it is I plug in the headphone port in with, of course, my headphones, and then if I wanted to play along with a track or have a metronome going, I would plug in my phone in the aux port and then adjust the volume accordingly. Another great way to utilize this is instead of plugging your headphones in the phone's jack, you can actually plug in a Bluetooth speaker, which is what I do as a little makeshift amp because I don't have an amp and I don't feel like I need to invest in one at this point. And having a portable size speaker with you is a great way to take your music on the go. And since this is a companion to my traveler guitar, it's really compact and a really easy way for me to both be able to listen to it privately but also to give it a bigger sound when I need it. So this headphone amp really satisfies what I was looking for, a clear acoustic sound that I could use for both private listening and also through my Bluetooth speaker. Now for those of you who are really looking for additional effects that unfortunately this doesn't really have, then I would recommend rather the Vox line of headphone amps. They have several different iterations for the type of sound that you're looking for anyway, but if you're looking for something that's purely acoustic, I don't think there's anything better that I can find right now on Amazon anyways. And speaking of Amazon, I'll have the link to this in the description, and it's only about $20, so it definitely doesn't break the bank. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like, it'd be greatly appreciated, and make sure to subscribe to my channel Skyforce95 if you haven't already to get more content like this. Or if you're watching this on Amazon, head over to my channel URL right here, or just search it up on YouTube Skyforce95. There you'll see a bunch of my product reviews and unboxings. Feel free to browse, or if you want to search for something specific, just hit that search field. That'll do it for this video. This is Skyforce95. Thanks for watching.